Hello, and welcome to my series on Visa's talking points, talking through them and reacting to them. I want to introduce the series. It is a chance for me to work on my camera presence. It's a chance for me to work on talking off the cuff and also to see if I can think about a lot of Visakhan Veerasami's kind of the way that he interacts with the world is very fascinating and interesting to me, and I want to continue to try and cultivate the sense and the stuff and like the way that he interacts with the world is like very much my vibe. So this is kind of an experiment to just talk through all of his. So the source of the inspiration is he has a public Rome graph, and on it he has all of his talking points in alphabetical order. And he's done kind of all of these talking points are things that he has kind of categorized as points in his life that he is often talking about frequently, and things he brings up in conversations on Twitter and makes threads about and stuff. And I've actually made some videos like this before. So I want to start. So I'll put the link to the talking points below, and it'll be in alphabetical order. And basically, I'm just going to talk off the cuff over what I think Visa is trying to do with the talking point, with my reactions and thoughts around it. And just try and formulate thoughts in a kind of free association way. See if anything interesting comes out of it. I want to see if I can invite the muse in and get some things that I've never said or thought before, and also just like have some experience with talking on camera. So kind of repeated myself there, but I hope you enjoy. Today, I'm going to be talking about the first talking point, which is called Do It 100 Times. And I'll read his little note underneath. Write 100 songs, cook 100 omelets, talk to 100 people. It never seems like a huge deal until you try it yourself. It's manageable, and yet it stretches you, and you'll be observably different at the end of it. Effective way to get a foothold on a new thing. So the first thing that comes to my mind is I'm kind of a curious, open person. I've tried many times to get into something, right? Whether that's cooking, whether that's coding. I've tried many times to get into coding, and or writing or drawing, and my first instinct, I think it's something that I kind of learned from my dad, is go and get a book, learn theory, learn the meta around something, explore deeply the theory behind what makes a good drawing, the theory behind what makes a good story, the theory behind what makes a good computer programmer, or principles behind clean code and things like that. And this often feels good, feels like you're making progress. And then when you go and try and do something, it comes out really crappy, really bad. And what Visa says, which I really like the framing of, is that without doing something, number one, obviously, you don't know what you're capable of, and you actually kind of don't have a sense of what's good and bad in your frame of, your frame of the thing, right? The representation of the thing and how it interacts with your abilities is not developed until you start doing something. And so the doing 100 things, I think, is ultimately like about developing a model and frame for yourself, because really, you may have a sense of what a good painting is, what a good piece piece of music is. But those things, in some sense, are only relative to the artist, and to other artists. And I think when we are learning, when we are trying to do something, we've got to collapse and have a sense of our own potential and our own agency, and to see the things that we like that come from us. So a category of things, because ultimately when we create something, there are things that come from us, and in a way, it's at least early on, it's better to compare do the comparison between the things that come from you instead of the things that come from the outside. And I think this is really hard, and doing 100 things it's actually tough, because there's this draw and this desire to go and start and especially when we bring others into the equation and you want to show people something and they have a frame of reference that is to, excellent writing or excellent music or excellent apps, or but another thing is building a body of work that can then be compared and compared to itself. So in the way that we talked about, comparing to other pieces of art, but when you show others a body of work and seeing a trajectory, that's also something that people can come on to or latch onto and say, oh, and kind of understand where you're coming from. I don't think that's as important. I mean, I think the thing is that, especially in the internet age, this is kind of something interesting, that before libraries, or people who don't have access to libraries, if they wanted to do something, they would have no choice but to go and just do something. If they want to build a barn, or if they want to go hunt or whatever, that's maybe they want to go and build a building, or create a road or something like that. They would just have to start and do things. And in some sense, we have crystallized knowledge in the form of being able to go into Google and go to blogs and find stuff codified. But that's a very, very modern and new development. And in some ways, I found that it hacks your feeling that you are actually getting something done by learning the theory of it, by watching a video on how to, that actually almost short circuits the part of your brain that thinks that you're doing something, and makes it and almost can eat away at your actual drive to do the thing itself. So that's another thing about the do 100 things. Also, in the do 100 things, 100 is a lot of things. It's not do 10 things. It's do 100. And at 100, you get a sense of, you can kind of create a taxonomy for yourself. I don't know if that's the right word. You can start creating a classification for what's important, for what things you like about it. And so that it's kind of like the things that you think are important for, a video or something like that. And what's cool about it is you may come to a different conclusion than what the theory suggests. So, I think it's a very profound thing to think about. And the thing is that on many things, it's extremely feasible to do 100 of something in a year or across a couple of years, and to come out and have a perspective have an opinion about what it means to engage in that thing, because there's just a huge temptation in our world to go and read what someone else has written about it and then regurgitate that. And frankly, there's a lot of people who are rewarded for that. So, in essence, the things that I'm trying to cultivate with the Do 100 is actually this project, which is a way definitely for camera presence, for helping string together more coherent thoughts in verbal, to help relax on camera. I'm also doing TikToks, like kind of daily TikToks. They only one thing interesting about TikTok is you can make a video that goes viral in only a few seconds, which is kind of interesting. Very non-linear as far as the amount of work you put in versus what could go viral. But learning the different tools and stuff, and just really fucking around and finding out. That's another thing about what's it called? The Do 100 times. So anyway, I think it's an apt talking point to start on, because it's kind of like the inspiration for this project. Anyway. Yeah, well, thanks for listening to my first video. Let me know what you think and what kind of Do 100 you're getting started on, and if so, send it to my email, marshall.revere@gmail.com, and I'd love to track what you're doing and support you in whatever it is. Okay, so thanks a lot. Bye.